this is the part of the story that's really important. Now, this is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. The wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Hex Guild meeting. We are waiting to have Davin set his camera up again. Please let us know in chat how you guys are doing. We have some. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can hear you just fine.
Making sure I'm not speaking to myself. So what's up, Crypto Truth, Finbear, Hexonair. So we have some important topics to cover today, like talking about beavers, and I already shared a video in the Telegram group regarding how beavers are being used to rehabilitate the wetlands, but let's see.
I haven't got time to look into it yet. Like I said, I just got home from Portugal and drove 2 days, and I had like 7 hours of sleep, so almost passing out there. But how's everybody doing?
Oops.
I'm doing great.
Nice.
Hi, everybody.
Let's go.
It's spring. We're in yellow.
So
I'm gonna cut this bush later on.
I'm still thinking about it. What should I do?
All right, guys. So on Saturday we've got a meetup going on in Georgetown because there's a festival in downtown, and it just happens to be on the same streets that Hexaco, my commercial space already exists. So everybody in Texas is welcome to come down to Georgetown this weekend. I know it's a really short notice, but they're going to be shutting down the street in front and setting up a stage, and so we'll have basically front row seats to everything. Just come on by and let's chill a little bit. Oh,
if I could, I would.
Yeah, right. just get one of those James Bond tunnels, right? The little
vacuum tubes.
Yeah. Tube. And then also, if you haven't checked out on Twitter, last weekend on Saturday, we were down in Austin next to one of the bridges that goes over I-35. I-35 runs from Wisconsin all the way down to Mexico. Probably goes even higher than Wisconsin, I'm not sure. But over there near campus, there's this certain overpass over the top of it. It's the Martin Luther King Road that goes over the top. And it's a wonderful place where the lanes of traffic bottleneck and they go up underneath you. And so you could hang whatever flags you want up there. So that's what we did. A few of us Hexicans met over there. So Side Effects, shout out to Side Effects. He's been coming to a lot of the Hex meetups. And ATX Crypt was over there. You know, the guy who's been doing live streams with Westcott. You know, Westcott, who's been doing music video streams.
Yeah, I love
Pretty cool
ATX.
stuff.
Went on a stream once. Good guy. Really
Yeah.
nice guy.
And then a Hexagon who's, I would think he's kind of a on the fringe Hexagon. His name's Left House. He did a really great video, or actually 2 videos. And then Shane Schuler showed up. So Richard's brother. You guys, that's not really Richard's brother. It's just one of the Texas Hexagons.
Same as Fake Satoshi.
Yeah. So, but that's the news coming from this corner.
Nice. Sounds amazing. Yeah, I was in the space, and it was really hearing you cheer on top of the top of the bridge. Hi, X. Yeah, save yourselves.
X.com, free yourself.
Yes,
So
exactly.
every time I said that was whenever somebody had like a pop top, like they had an exposed top.
Oh yeah,
car.
yeah. Yeah.
They were in some sort of a convertible, like a Jeep or a, you know, BMW or Mercedes.
Nice.
Funny stuff. But yeah, like people would walk over the bridge from the campus where they probably parked over to the baseball field, because I think there was a game going on or something was going on over in the baseball tennis area across the highway from campus. And so these people with their fan gear would walk across, and we try to tell them, you know, like, hey, see, we're over at University of Texas, and their biggest rival is A&M, or at least used to be back in the day. So we would say, hey, guys, the Aggies have a Bitcoin class. What do you think about that? And they're just like, oh, well, we need to do the exact opposite.
So you did get a lot of foot traffic then?
We got a little bit of foot traffic. And really the people who were most interested were either the young, aware business guys who already had a Coinbase account that were students, or it was the employees who were working the events who were clearly not students. So that was foot traffic, right? But down below, I got so many blown kisses. I got so many thumbs up. I got so many more raised camera phones. Tons of people took our pictures. And tons of people took our videos too. So it was a really cool thing. So we're gonna, next month, I've already asked Hex Fan Network Victor over in Houston if he would be able to attend a certain weekend over there in Houston if we did a similar thing over there. And actually, Houston is where this idea originated for me. Because back in 2010 and 2011, whenever I worked in Houston, there was a certain bridge that was like on the edge of my neighborhood where people would do this exact thing, where the traffic would go into a lower area and there were no exits, and all there were overpasses that were like neighborhood streets that would just continue at the same level from the neighborhood. So like on this side of the highway there's a wall, and on this side of the highway there's a wall. There are no exits. You have to go underneath this bridge, you know.
They had to tunnel through it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So I think that I'm pretty sure that bridge name is Mandel, over there in Houston, over the top of 59, if you guys are in the Houston area. And I think I've communicated this inside the Hex Texas group on Telegram, but I haven't yet communicated it with Twitter as a whole.
What are the rules surrounding doing street music?
I don't think there are rules. Maybe like decibels after 10 p.m. And then as far as what we're doing, I'm pretty sure that as long as we don't obstruct traffic and as long as we're not littering, we're okay. So not obstructing the pedestrian paths that we're standing on. And so I've done a little bit of research in the last day, and I've been looking at Dallas area to see if like there's any places in Dallas, and yes, I did find places in Dallas where the bottleneck traffic goes below an overpass, but like often these overpasses, they've got a little loop around right there facing traffic, so there's no sidewalk. So the sidewalks are further in on the intersection, so it's a weird thing in Dallas how they've constructed a lot of their overpasses don't allow pedestrians to be up against that edge that faces traffic.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's kind of an interesting situation, like how the engineers made that, but yet, I mean, it does keep the pedestrians on the inside, so whatever. So I'm witnessing that.
Could you imagine doing the same thing you were doing? And let's say it's a little bit more on a field where you have foot traffic from a campus and just having a nice stand with good music and a good MC. Oh my lord, the people that will attract just because of the party element and everything.
Yeah.
They're already in a party mood. They're going to a game or they're going out for dinner or to a bar or whatever. And while they go there, they will find the hex, I don't know, party, intermediate party. They will never get to the destination probably.
That'd be so funny if you had like little velvet ropes that like marked off the area. Would you like to come in this area, or just stay out there?
With street paint, the child. What is it called? Chalk.
Yeah.
And you just draw it on the ground.
So that's a really fun idea. Is you don't have to get any permits or anything like that for just writing a message on a sidewalk with chalk. The kids in my neighborhood do this often.
You have people that can make drawings that are insane. Like you're falling through a hole or something.
Oh, I've seen
the artist. Golly.
I've seen those short videos where the cats and dogs are running through the living room, and then they're like, "Whoa!
What
you just stay away from that hole."
Yep.
It's just a rope.
Mind fuck. Yeah.
Well, hey, random Indian guy, have you killed any beavers lately?
No, not right now. But it reminded me of a very. Now the beaver thing, like it came to my mind because I was watching our last stream and you mentioned it, and like like a very good listener, the YouTube algorithm recommended me some videos about beavers. The one the there is one by David at like BBC. What was that? Let me highlight it. So there was one from BBC Earth by with the voiceover of David Attenborough, I guess. And there is one by Zay Frank. That is a really funny channel. If you guys follow him, ZE Frank. But it also reminded me of something else. Now I'm going to ask you guys a question. Rather, it's a question in the video. I hope this falls under what you call free fair use policy. So I will just share the video and let me see how good you guys are at math and whether you can answer this question.
Here goes.
Okay, girls. Everyone knows a beaver's favorite food is wood. I just hope we brought along enough of it for our 3-day galactic space journey. So let's do the math. If Robin's beaver devours 6 inches of wood every half hour, And Jessica's beaver devours 8 inches of wood every 45 minutes. How much wood will I need to keep both of these beavers well fed all weekend long?
While you
I totally lost the whole math thing. I was cracking up. How much wood does it?
Did he say 40 minutes or 45 minutes?
Was it? I don't know, man. It was 6 and 8 inches for
So I'll
30
say
minutes.
it was 6. I think it was 6 for 1 hour and 10 for the other hour. So
Oh,
a whole weekend is 48, and then you're probably
times.
exhausted. So mine is 16 hours for sleep.
Yeah.
So that would be like 32 times 16. Do the math, guys. 32 times 16.
See, I did the math um, uh, while you guys.
So
578.
it's 480
See,
inches.
Here you go.
so I did the math for 48 hours. It's 1088 inches. That will be
But
I
they
don't
didn't
know
sleep.
how
They
many.
were on Adderall the whole time.
Yeah. Math all
Yep.
the way.
And it was funny, but oh, the other thing we wanted to talk about was the member of our group, EJ. He's working on his uh, landscape, I guess.
Just rocking
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
rolling.
yeah, yeah.
He's kind of redirecting the flow of the river where he's on his land. So
So he's
Big
directing. It was a spring that comes out of a cave, right? So he's redirecting with hoses. I just wonder if it's above ground or below ground. And is the sun rays going to UV rays going to eat up that hose? Are minerals going to get clogged in it? Over time, is he going to have to replace the hose? I mean, it could possibly be every 6 months.
so I think we had already already kind of discussed this in one of the previous stream, like the basics of how water flow should be designed, or how to design your farm around the water flow, like uh, how to make swales and trenches, I guess, and so that uh, water is basically stored at a height, and it flows down from there. We There is other sources of material available there, but this kind of also the other video. I forgot to upload his video. I think his channel's name is Viking in the Jungle. Uh,
Yeah, and he's got that cool
and
logo with his Viking hat
yeah,
with palm trees coming out between the horns. It's hilarious.
yeah. I'll I'll probably put a link to the channels in later uh, in the description. Please follow him, and we'll follow up on his progress. And apparently he is kind of close to crypto truth. So I hope those guys can collab, which kind of gives me like I find this very amazing that uh, the guild members are coming together all over the world, kind of thing. And yes, Finbear, it is markable thoughts, brother. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's another one of
I
those
get this.
Scandinavian guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so close they could be twins. It's insane.
Are they not
I
twins?
think they. Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, that makes sense because I
May-
couldn't take them apart.
yeah, I think that is why one went to Portugal and one went to the Dominican Republic, so that
Nice.
there is no confusion. And
These guys are really
one
humble about how they've onboarded so many people. They used to hang out in coffee shops and just onboard everyone.
yeah,
Nice.
you know, I saw one of Markable Thoughts video on his channel, like how to strike a conversation, and his like opening line is, "Are you guys cool?" I don't think he got the context, because I know it's a different context in the USA when somebody asks you, "Hey, are you cool?" It usually means whether you are okay with the drugs. So
Oh, really?
I,
Hmm.
yeah. So
I
mostly
mean, if it
weed,
doesn't
like
have any context,
it's.
yeah.
So I can
But that
imagine
is
like
funny where it's just a probing of like, hey, are you guys jolly group, or y'all gonna tear some stuff up or what?
so, but yeah.
Y'all a bunch of shredders.
Anyways,
You know,
so
whenever it is that you reach out to some folks in the Hex community, um, you know, sometimes they've seen stuff that they don't like. You know, they don't want to get involved in. They don't want to be a part of your group, or um, they don't want to get on stage with you. You know, this stuff does happen, and I'm not meaning to bring anything negative into it. Instead, I'm just going through the Rolodex in my head of people that I've asked to participate with this or that either ignore or say this isn't the group for me, or no thanks, I don't like getting into fights, things like that. So just keep pushing forward with ideas, guys. Keep bringing stuff up. And thanks so much for Crypto Truth chiming in on that magazine idea. And thanks so much to HOA for compiling all the project ideas.
Legends.
yeah, yes, that's the only way we can propagate ideas. Like I'm like just overwhelmed right now because we have so many
Hmm.
project ideas. I think we may end up with an what you call analysis paralysis kind of thing. I hope we can. I think the next uh, Treasury HSI is going to be coming out in the next few months. We should be like having some kind of project behind our back. I think the
Good point.
m- we can start magazine. I think it is the most minimal viable product, um, and we can have a digital copy, or if not a magazine, at least a what we call newsletter. That just should be like a good thing to start off with. We should have a kind of but the what happens is I'm kind of listening to a lot of stuff in general, and what I find, or my conclusion is, what we are trying to create. I quote David Graeber here, like it's like trying to uh, promote hot showers as a method of contraception. See,
What?
there has been kind of research, and I did try and
Yeah.
verify it, that if you have uh, like a kind of a scalding hot shower in prior to having sex, the chance of uh, conception is decreased significantly. But now, sharing or promoting that as an effective method is not viable, because you or you aren't getting, it's not a sellable product. You cannot profit out of it, and in our capitalist economy, we have nothing to do, or we cannot survive. So I'm thinking of doing something, let's see, uh, but definitely physical crypto truth is saying physical copies can be offered at a later date. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
uh,
so certain about physical copies of anything,
Mm.
And
uh,
by the way, we have a Hexagon 3D printing group as well. There's only like 12 people in it, but hey, that's gotten started. T.me/3D print, I think, or Hex 3D print, 3D print Hex. I don't know, it's somewhere in there. But that would be really cool if we just sent the files. People could do the stuff themselves. But that's just a random idea. Whenever you were talking about the magazine just now, and you were talking about a newsletter, then I started thinking about how I purchased from Hermes.com for like $15 a list of 100 plus communes in around the world that have already been compiled. So that would be cool if we went and opened up that file, looked through those people to see who we recommend the Hexicans go and check out as well. So we could do that. We could do Hex merchandise, like literally Hex merch. Like stores that already exist. Um, Hexicans who are creating wonderful goods from scratch, like what Marcus is doing in Wisconsin,
Mhm.
and his friend with the cheese. Um, so you know, worldwide products, and then I did mention that shipping's going to be expensive, but
Yes.
at least we have a one-stop shop to sort of boycott or um, direct flow of good of like we have so much to learn about each other, guys.
Yeah. True. I mean,
mm,
it cost me about 3 to 4 times the amount of money to send stuff to you than the stuff itself. it's insane. So maybe next time I should do a really big shipment. But the problem is it's goods that has an expire date. So,
yeah,
and the other things though, yeah, once I'm done with that, maybe that could help.
and I think Marcus was already talking about how Europe has this crazy landing tax, uh, which makes things difficult to send stuff there as well. Like, and see, most of these kind of laws are made because someday or someone kind of abused what was going on. Like previously, we could
Mm,
mark down products as free samples or gifts, and or at zero value, and you could avoid the custom duties. I guess a lot of people started doing it, and yeah, they had to tax everything. So now things are worse for everyone. And but uh, of
I
course,
do
there will
always
be
call it
some
a,
other.
yeah. I
Sorry.
always call it a test sample, but I do give the true value, even though it's a test sample.
Yeah, yeah.
I never had any tax problems. I don't know the people that received it if they had to pay anything, but
So I want to know.
And,
Go ahead with crypto truths.
yeah, we definitely need someone to look into the.
The what? I didn't see it.
So basically, somebody who is kind of aware of licensing and permits for worldwide delivery and receiving. So that is
I
also
did
something we can.
used to work with a company that actually does that. It started off as a company that made boxes, custom boxes, if you had to transport something of value. And they grew up to or grow into a business that arranges everything. So once it's packed with them, it's already cleared as, say, customs. So once they got their seal on it, it doesn't have to go to custom again. They look at the seal, okay, it's good. It was expensive because you used to transport art worldwide, and it wasn't cheap, but it always got on time. I never had any problems with that, but it's not cheap to do it that route. But I could ask if it's a big enough shipment.
You used to transport art, or he used to transport art?
Well, they transported it for me, so
Sweet.
we created it,
Right, because
and then it need
that's you. Okay, I get it now.
yeah. So we made a lot of statues, or it could be pretty much anything. We did it to order, or we got it from an artist, or whatever. We did our thing, and then we arranged everything. So the only thing the artist did was bring the sample. We did what we needed to do. That other company made the box completely so it would be safe. Cleared it. We gave him an address, and up it go. Dubai, Morocco, United States, literally all over the world.
Finbear is saying you can send children uh, as living art, I guess. I think like I saw a video on YouTube that there was like in the early days it was possible to ship children in the post in the USA. People used to mail children across seas, but that was stopped for a very good
We
reason.
used to do it
That
by
is
the
some wicked
millions in
stuff.
the early days with
What?
the orphan trains and the
Oh, okay.
orphanages. By the millions, populated everything.
Hmm.
So yeah, I made it halfway through that video about the beavers. Um,
Ah, that was the topic. My bad.
yeah, it was a. It seemed like it was a quick rush. They were able to kill beavers real fast. You know, beavers are easy to find and easy to kill. So what I'm speaking about is like the rush
Yeah,
across the United States and the export of the fur trade. Like the Rocky Mountain states, um, they didn't have much waterways, and then it was made even less once they eradicated the beavers. And for the time being, I guess the folks who were living off the land enjoyed controlling nature. But now, you know, several generations later, here we are thinking about it again.
Now we will find the path of least resistance instead of a complete biosystem created by beaver dams.
So I was only able to make it through half of that video. What other points were in that video, Raj?
So yeah, and one of the points like in the video was which stuck with me was like we have been taught or shown that streams are kind of a single flow kind of thing, whereas actual are teeming with life. So
Can you hear him?
Yeah, it's cutting in and out for me, but
I think
he's saying that it's not a single flow, instead it's teeming with life. And whenever it was that the presenter, I think it's that university professor over there at Oregon State, right? Whenever he was talking about it, it made me think about how, like, my favorite thing whenever I was a kid was organizing the rain flowing through the gutters.
Kids, yeah, I was the same way.
Like, divert it this way, divert it that
exactly.
way. Oh, cool, you know. And then whenever
that's how you create structured water.
We were down at a river, then damming up that river was a lot of fun with rocks. You know, it was just temporary.
Exactly.
But, like, you know, turn that childish thing into a full-time job, and times it by the millions of beavers that were throughout the land, and think about how much fish spawning habitat then was created by the slowdown of that water. And the beavers, you know, just like any other mammal, they don't want stagnant crap ass water. You know, that's not their intention.
No. Exactly. And they create new ponds, and within a year you get a complete new ecosystem. Because after the pond is created, new vegetation will come, new birds will come, new fish will come, crickets. Then the birds have something to feed because there are crickets. Now there are birds. All of a sudden, snake have something to kill because there's a bird, and so on and so on.
Okay, this also can have its downside. My acupuncturist, who has been a guest on the show, I'll call her JK because I'm always bad about that name. Jagjit, I think, is how you pronounce it, but whatever. So we were down. I was down there trying to take some video shorts of her while we were down at the river, and it's this area of the river that I don't swim in because people have polluted it, and so, like, some families don't warn their youth not to get in that water, and instead, you know, people are using it like a pool where it's dammed up, where we went there in the downtown area. And I see this, I didn't really think anything of it, but I see this throw up on the sidewalk, and then I continue to walk towards the dam, and I see her, so I go and sit next to her, and we start talking about our plan of using the camera to capture these shorts, because she's not very used to a camera. She's probably one of her first times on YouTube was on our show. So I start capturing her stuff, and then this squirrel comes up to my leg, basically, and the squirrel looked like it was missing portions of its fur, you know, along its back, and it looks like its tail was cut short, or maybe like the long fur that should have grown on the tail wasn't there. And so it kind of looked like it was being infected, in its coat, and I didn't know what to think of it. And then whenever it is that we were leaving, then I see that same squirrel eating the throw up off of the sidewalk. So this squirrel has gotten used to humans feeding it, and it's having coat issues. It's having issues. So this is like an inverse, of what you were just describing, is create a habitat or control a habitat, and the animals can go sick.
It's sad.
And you know, the other thing I found out was there were some scientists who have done kind of research that, and they are trying to implement it. Like they use loudspeakers and play the sound of flowing water um, on the through the speaker, and they use beavers to build dams where they want, so that they can kind of landscape these things.
Really?
And
They go
which
off of
uh,
sound?
How
Interesting.
does the sound relate to the location? How do you?
Because they play the sound there, the
like
beavers think there's fast running water, so they start building dams.
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
how it works?
and it's
That's
like,
interesting.
yeah, beavers have a kind of an instinct to stop leaks in the dam, so you can kind of harvest that instinct to create waterways the way you want. The other interesting thing I found out in the documentary is that beavers have their mounds in which they live, and occupying the mound. Like there are muskrats which also cohabit the mound, and also bring food to store in the mound or help rebuild build the mound by putting in new, what you call, hay or wood material or grass material in the mound. So in a kind of a way, the muskrats are kind of beavers are kind of running a motel business in the habitat. It's amazing like how
Beaver
cohabitation
Patel.
works. Which is uh, and I didn't, yeah, kind of a segue to that video as well. I wasn't aware of it. Like the Patels kind of the Patel Motel cartel
Where's the
kind of
closest
rolls off
Patel
the tongue,
family
but
for me to start Hexaco? Actually, I used to work for a Patel. He opened up a coffee shop.
no, there is yeah, like there is this kind of saying that you are connected to everyone on the earth by 7 contacts maximum. I think it's like if you so it would be probably true that I know someone who knows someone who knows a Patel in having a motel in the USA. But now I'm going to sound a bit woke, but isn't it kind of like nobody is like calling the Walmart family as a cartel, or any other, the Starbucks family as a cartel. It's only the Indians who are running a cartel. I find it kind of
Is that true?
disrespectful, but
That's
yeah,
racist.
So I'm not really sure
yeah,
who's behind
yeah,
Starbucks. Do you guys know?
I have
yeah.
no idea. All I know is that it's the apple
I
of coffee, overpriced for shit.
And what I know is that they do a lot of market research, and so you can learn a lot by just looking at a map and seeing where Starbucks are.
Interesting.
And I know that a
and
lot of my countrymen or my country women are absolutely addicted to the drink sizes and the sugar in the drinks.
Unfortunately.
The drink sizes is a pun because typically people like walk up to just any local coffee shop and they order the sizes based on the Starbucks thing, and I'm actually the exact opposite. I'll go to Starbucks and I'll order a small, which is typically a tall, as opposed to a, I think it's like a medium is a grande. I don't know. Anyway,
I have no idea.
fuck you, Starbucks.
Exactly.
Fuck you and your burnt
Homemade
coffee.
coffee from the missus is the best. Regular old filter coffee. Hell yeah.
And I also learned whenever it was that I worked for the Patels and I was a roaster, I learned underneath another white guy that grew up in the Dallas area that there's a huge argument whether Starbucks coffee is burnt or not. That would be a great poll to have in our chat. Do you think Starbucks coffee is burnt or not?
I have no idea.
yeah, like, yeah, it's like, I would say it's I would say it is over roasted, like, but it to each one its own, like, everybody has their own taste of coffee. The good thing about Starbucks is you know what you're going to get each time, which is also a kind of a downfall. Like, no, like, we know there is going to be a standard experience, and there is a lot of uh, research that goes into everything. Uh, uh, like you said, the size, the name of the size of the cups, everything, like, there is this thing known as the semantic differential. Like, each word is researched as to what kind of emotions they generate in your mind. And I think I shared the video regarding neuro marketing. Like, they are doing MRI scans of people to see which is the right scent and taste and color that gets people to buy. So, having seen all that, it all accumulates into, what do you call, an addiction to Starbucks. And the thing is, yeah, it is definitely overpriced, and it is definitely more of a status symbol. I it has become a status symbol in the Philippines, less so in India, but even there it is becoming so. So the only real purpose of drinking at Starbucks is letting people know that you are drinking at Starbucks. And uh,
Like everything else,
and
everything is social.
So, guys,
yeah,
you know how I'm in Texas, and so I've been witnessing, cultural changes, and there was a thing where Mexicans started going to Starbucks. That was a thing.
What? All
There
I
was a
know
time
is
period where families, where these Latino families would start going out to get coffee, and that was like that never
And-
happened. You would never see
yeah,
that until just a few years ago.
interesting.
Yeah, and plus, uh, I think it was Slavoj Zizek who talks about it like it is pure ideology. Like you don't have to, like, the cost of the trouble to the environment is included in the coffee.
But
So like yeah,
all I
in the
know is
sense
that
that, sorry, in the sense that,
All the
yeah,
problems are contained in the price.
yeah,
yeah, uh, you don't have to worry about ethical sourcing of
it's
coffee,
already
or
priced in.
yeah, you are just paying a buck extra. It is everything is priced in, so you don't have to, you
Price
can
for
drink your
destruction.
Yeah,
coffee with a
So you can be
clean
carefree.
conscience.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have the
We've
same
taken
thing
care of the
for.
carbon taxes for the entire year, guys. The entire
Yeah,
year. We've done it
exactly.
for you.
Do you have the same thing for electrical appliance and, let's say, tires? We pay for the removal or safe dismantling upfront. Is that the same for
Yeah.
you? Or? Yeah,
Yeah, for a lot of things.
yeah,
Um, there's like a core deposit on auto parts and stuff.
yeah. Oh, and Diraz, you said the benefit of Starbucks is that you know exactly what you get. Like pretty much all the big companies like McDonald's, and you know what the key word is, what you're
Raj, there's
exactly
your Mickey
getting.
D's.
Yeah, poison. That is exactly what you're getting. Guaranteed.
Hey guys, check
Yeah,
out that background. Change the subject just a little bit. That background there is the field across the street from Wheaton Labs over there in Montana. That was an image that I uploaded a while back that Duraj is using as the background. So that is facing, it's kind of facing Washington. It's kind of facing Vancouver. So that's facing the northwest of this place, I believe. Either that, or it's facing kind of directly north.
Looks beautiful
Um,
though.
yeah, so it's a little bit arid because the rain falls. It kind of, the rain chooses to fall in other places besides this property a lot. So right behind me, in taking this photograph, right behind me would be the metal and wood shop and uh, the hillside that Wheaton Labs is on. If you were to choose to go be a part of the boot camp and have free room and board as long as you work 4 days out of the week, it's a cool little place. So that field there that's all green, I believe that it's a shared field. I think it's a part of the Bureau of Land Management. And then down off to the left, inside those trees, there's a rodeo arena that's a community small rodeo thing for practice. And then across the field is the highway. Don't tell anybody, but that's the highway. So it's really close to the highway. And then there's a train and a river down there as well. And then so the river, that's where we go swimming all the time. And it's always cold water. So in the summer, it feels so good after a day's work. And then so, what's his name? Empty Plain. Empty Plain has his camp, his little homestead set up uh, down to the left and back around another two miles, basically, is what we say, from this spot down that road to the left and back around. And so his thing is kind of, it's up on a hill, almost a flat spot, but almost facing on a north facing slope. almost, or a gentle north-facing slope. So he'll still have sun in the winter, just slightly. But I wanted to say those things, and then I also wanted to say that this kind of spawns, or this goes into me thinking about what am I going to do with my current vehicle? Am I going to keep it around for a farm truck, or am I going to donate it or sell it or what? And I think it would be my grandfather passed me the truck whenever it was that I was going to and from university, and I didn't have a reliable truck that would take me 6 hours away and back. So now that it's been 20 years or so, I'm thinking about donating it to Wheaton Labs. Like, how cool would it be if I just gave my truck over to these folks? And of course, like, I mechanically brought it up to snuff so that they wouldn't have any problems and it wouldn't be a lemon dropped on them. But another work truck, it's a V6, so maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't. But I haven't started conversations about it. But what do you guys think about that?
Gas or diesel?
It's gas. It's gas. It's V6. It's nothing special.
I think it's a good idea. The story that's behind the truck will live on, and the more character it will get at the end, because that's what I like about when you see old things from the past. You start thinking about the whole history, and especially when you find out the history. And in cars, it's really easy because everything is usually registered. So once you get an old car, reading into the history of the car, I always like it. So yeah.
You know, Paul Wheaton, he names the streets and the buildings that are out there on the intentional community, on the village that they call Ant Village. He named one of the streets Pascal Road because Pascal is one of his mentors in his life. So maybe I could donate this truck and they could just call it my grandfather's name from then on. I don't know.
Good idea. Yeah, that's how it lives
Good
on.
idea. And the thing is, like, old vehicles are getting greater demand now. Now that everything is becoming like half electronic and unrepairable, like having a kind of a sturdy vehicle which you can manage on your own is being a good thing to have. So yeah, sounds like a
Yeah,
very
that's
good
why
idea.
diesel is so amazing. It's so simple compared to gasoline.
Wait a minute. Crypto Truth is asking, are you all interested in sending photos from different farms they have there? I only think of it as you discuss this photo right now, and maybe some way to benefit our reference. So yeah, we can. Yeah, that was another thing I would like to ask. Like, if you guys can, everyone, it's for everyone in the member. If you guys can, yeah, share some photos as well as small clips of you working in the farm or your garden, even if you're, so that I can create a small intro video for everyone. Like, I am
Nice.
I am okay with using the Destiny games advertise, but yeah, we should do have something for we can call our own. And the other thing he was
Yeah, everybody, if you want to be on the intro, send in your videos.
There you
If
go.
it's not in the video bank, then we can't use it. So just upload them, because it's so Telegram makes it so easy for us to search photos and videos. So just upload the stuff. And that flower that I recently uploaded and then did a little bit of photo filters too. That flower is so interesting. It's something that's local to this area as well as further south, and it's like a once a year flower that that's only for a few days, and it attracts only one insect to it. And so the fleshiness of that plant, um, it's almost like it's an annual. However, it acts by the roots. It acts like a perennial. It's really neat.
I'll send you some photos from Portugal as well. It's gonna be an interesting project for sure.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I want to see
Yeah.
topo lines. I want to see topography.
Yeah.
I want to see elevation change.
Oh, it's not a lot, but it's definitely there. I can give you a Google Earth image if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Google Earth. Google
Go
Earth
ahead, Daraj.
does give Google Earth does give a little bit about elevation and kind of terrain, but yeah, somebody will have to do a proper lidar, what you call survey, to get a much
And
better.
find a
Yeah, I will do a
pyramid on it.
survey, but it's gonna be months.
We're gonna
It's
find a
gonna.
pyramid on your property.
Oh, I
Needing.
have a really interesting photo that I took from the balcony of a cat. So there's an old structure there, and the corner piece of it has 4 pieces of rebar sticking out, and the bottom part has a shingle of rebar around it, and they're all pointed into almost a single point, like a pyramid. And every single day when I wake up in the morning, a cat is lying exactly in the middle every day. And I found that really interesting because we all know how frequency and the ethereal field and all that thing. Why does that cat exactly choose that spot in
All
the
right.
center of the pyramid? That's
Here,
interesting. I'll send you the photo.
yeah, please do. Also, I've set up those antennas around my place, right? So
Yes,
I've
yes.
got 6 inch tall limbs
Mhm.
that can be like buried 1 foot into the ground or 16 inches into the ground, and then I've put the copper around it. So um, one of the days I was just sitting there at my computer, I look out the window and there's a bird chilling right next to that thing, and he did something interesting. I can't remember what it was that made me remember this, but he did something that made me feel like he can feel the vibration coming out of that.
Yeah. It's something I want to do really soon. Probably this year, but maybe maybe we'll do it later because I want to do a contest, or not really a contest, but IDs. Because the frequency antenna is all based on ratios and design. So if people would make different designs, I will make the antenna and see if there's any difference between designs of antennas. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, Finbear had shared a video on instructions from the guy, thesis, apothesis, something like that. See,
Oh yeah,
I
Ken
kind
Wheeler.
yeah, here I kind of disagree, or I'm not into that ether stuff.
Hmm.
Like, I think it has kind of already been disproven. I wouldn't say completely, but there was a experiment. I think it's called Michelson Morley experiment
Yeah, but Michelson
regarding.
Morley did exactly that.
Yeah,
What you are
so
remembering is what education told you about the Michelson-Morley effect. But in
uh,
reality, if you read into the Michelson-Morley
see,
effect, you will see that it was negative, but it's actually
uh,
positive. So the ethereal field was actually proven. The same with
um,
Einstein. And they said exactly, we cannot take this position. We need to get away from this position by any means necessary. And that is how we got theory of relativity. Don't look into what mainstream education tells you. Look in
See,
the true documents
see,
actually wrote by them.
see. I think there would be a small group of people who would kind of disagree, or who would more believe in the theory of relativity. That would be the people of Hiroshima and Nagasaki if they were alive. So unless I see someone use that ethereal theory in real life and show something
But it's not even a
world changing,
theory.
world changing, I will classify it as pseudoscience. Hey, if it works, it works. Show me
I,
the
w- I
proof,
would
and
I
I'll
would
follow.
I would agree, but then you would have to agree with me that virology is pseudoscience. The theory of relativity is pseudoscience. The theory of Darwin is pseudoscience. You can't have it both ways.
Mm,
If you say that
yes,
about
sir.
this one, that is a theory, never been proven, no
So,
substantiation whatsoever. You gotta do it for the other things as well. Just saying.
show me something. What I'm saying is, show me something useful done with it, and I will agree with it.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
exactly.
yeah,
I could say the
show.
same
Yeah.
thing about the other things. Show me something about Darwin. You can't.
Um,
Show me something about relativity theory.
what?
You can't. So
Yeah.
same question. Just saying.
Like, yeah. I let's the. I think this live stream is going to be a time limit kind of thing. I don't have that much time to go through everything right now. We may try and have a conversation in the Telegram chat later, about this everything, like everything. Yeah, there are things you can do.
That is correct, yeah. Even within the thesis itself. It's so funny.
like, I don't know where. Anyways, I don't know why Davin left.
Devin
We are
left.
at
I think he cut out. Maybe.
yeah, and we are at the 1 hour mark. We usually keep it at 1 hour so that we have consistency. We will talk about other things in the next stream. I think we will end this right now.
Have
Uh,
a good one, everybody.
have
Had a
a good.
blast.
Uh, where is the end stream? Wait a minute, why?